Get ready for even warmer days, not much in the way of cloud cover, and really no rain in sight. We are going to be in a calmer and warmer weather pattern across Central Oregon. Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We're about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. The biggest change up through the next 5 to 7 days, mostly going to be temperatures that are going to be up and down with times of reduced and quite possibly even poor air quality. But let's go ahead and start off with what's happening right here and right now. When we look across the high desert, we see very little in the way of cloud cover, so tons of sunshine, but also we see quite a bit of haze, some smoke from regional wildfires, and this is what is going to continue to impact our air quality. And this is mostly because of what we refer to as subsidence, and really under a ridge of high pressure is called such because the atmosphere is pushing down on the surface, and that's what pushes the pressure upwards, but that is called subsidence, that downward vertical motion, and that subsidence is actually leading to a lot of this smoke that's in our atmosphere to pool up and bring us these times of reducing, quite possibly even poor air quality. So when we go ahead and look at a couple of other images, this one just Bachelor overlooking Tumalo Mountain, Bend on the other side of Tumalo Mountain, and you can see that thick layer of haze that's over Central Oregon. As we go into tonight, subsidence mixed with cooling is going to push more of that haze, more of that smoke down to the surface, and some of us just getting down to unhealthy for sensitive groups, maybe even unhealthy air quality. A few other cameras, most of these are all courtesy of the Oregon Hazards Lab right here, and they do show where we have very little in the way of cloud cover, no rain in sight, and some of that haze, some of that smoke. So when it comes to air quality currently, it's good to moderate air quality. The base map that you see there, that is from the DEQ, that is from airnow.gov, and it shows mostly good air quality, and parts of Jefferson County are at moderate air quality. And remember, just an hourly average. Real-time sensors show that moderate air quality is digging a little further south into some of our higher elevations, so not just the lower elevations. And we have 3 different air quality networks that we use: the DEQ, or airnow.gov, we have eSpace, and we have Purple Air. So let's take a moment and look at some of those Purple Air sensors. I don't use this one too often, especially not on air, because the sensors are so small it's kind of hard to see. And so what we do have is right around Redmond. In the greater Redmond area, there is a sensor that is orange, or unhealthy for sensitive groups. Everything else looks mostly yellow with some greens on the map until you get into higher elevations. So good to moderate air quality. It looks like just north of Madras, but outside of the Warm Springs Reservation, there is one that's getting close to unhealthy for sensitive groups. So not too bad when it comes to the air quality, but remember that smoke is going to be thickening up here during the next couple of hours, and through the overnight, we are looking at times of reduced, quite possibly even poor air quality, lingering into tomorrow morning, and then more sunshine, not much in the way of cloud cover, some of that haze sticking around, but not as thick across Central Oregon. Now, satellite radar doesn't show much at all. There is a ridge of high pressure that's centered over the Pacific Northwest. That is bringing us subsidence, stability, and sunshine to the forecast, and it's staying that way. So when we go ahead and look at our infrared satellite imagery, throw an enhancement on there and put pressure on there so you can see those isobars, you can see where this ridge of high pressure is coming up the coastline, and that is really just going to continue to impact us through the next couple of days. Even this low that's off the coast of Los Angeles isn't really going to impact us, but there are a few systems further out over the Pacific Ocean that we're continuing to track. One of these is going to bring us a cold front that actually brings us a dip in temperatures by the time we get Thursday to Friday. So when it comes to relative humidity, we are bone dry, sitting in the teens and 20s. Remember, the relative humidity is measured in percentages, so it is 17% in Bend, 20% in Redmond, 26% in Sisters, so on and so forth. We are dry. Now, when it comes to high temperatures in the last 24 hours, we were still above average for this time of the year, topping out in the 80s with a few 70s on the map. Currently, that's where our temperatures are actually sitting, but look at this. We're actually running between 8 and 13 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago, so that bump in temperatures is definitely noticeable, and through tomorrow it warms up even more. So tonight we fall back into the 40s with a few 30s, maybe a couple 50s out there. By Wednesday, we're looking at highs in the mid to upper 80s, some low 90s actually expected, and again, no rain in sight. So your school bus forecast actually shows where we have a cool start with very gentle breeze expected, some of that haze impacting our air quality, and then by the afternoon, a whole lot of sunshine, 80 80s with some 90s for highs. That sunshine will be the name of the game through the next several days, even as this weak front rolls through our region. So this is the cold front we're tracking. This is by Wednesday. It's just now over the international line between Canada and the U.S. But Wednesday we're looking at highs in the 80s with a few 90s. By Thursday, we do see a dip in temperatures just a little bit. So that's first cold front. The second one is going to be bigger. This second one is actually going to bring us more cloud cover. No rain still expected, with a bigger drop in temperatures by the time we get to Friday. So Wednesday, mid to upper 80s, some low 90s. By Thursday, 80s, a few 70s, couple 80s possible. Then by Friday, 70s with a few 80s on the map, but still tons of sunshine, and we're staying dry that entire time. So roller coaster temperatures are expected, because by Saturday and Sunday a bump in temperatures brings us back into the lower 80s. Now those lower 80s are still going to be a little above that average high of 76 degrees, but look at this. Your forecast model shows very little in the way of cloud cover, definitely no rain, and as we go through Wednesday or Thursday night going into Friday, some clouds, but that is about it. And then by this weekend we are back to more sunshine mixed with a little bit of cloud cover. It's really not until next week we see a chance of rain. So for tonight, or between now and Thursday at 11 p.m., we are dry because of our high pressure. Now winds currently aren't too bad at all. Gusts between 10 and 20 miles per hour for some parts of the high desert. Comes down to a gentle breeze tonight, and temperatures fall back into the 40s with a few 30s possible. More of these areas of haze bringing some reduced air quality. Temperatures come back down to the 70s Friday, rebound Saturday and Sunday. Then it gets much cooler with the beginning of next week. That is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast.